Hey guys! So here is why I'm here. I have an important question to talk to you guys about. Ready? Can video games impact real life? I know, tough question, right? Thing is, I'm struggling to answer this question, so I was hoping you guys will help me out. So this is how it's going to work. I will basically give you my argument, which will consider some good points and some bad, and give you some things to think about. So listen carefully, and I would love to know what your opinions are on this one, as I'm aware that everyone will see this from a unique perspective. Ready? Let's begin. So let's begin by talking about the truths and myths of gaming. We've all heard of that infamous phrase, playing video games is bad for you. Who didn't get told that by their parents at some point as a kid? But is it true? Well, more children now are playing video games than ever before. So if they're that bad for you, how come everybody's doing it? Games are actually pretty useful tools. They encourage gamers to improve their skills, embrace their heroic qualities, as well as achieve their epic ambitions. Doesn't sound all that bad, does it? But we can't really ignore what the press are saying, can we? Video games are addictive, video games are corrupting our youth, video games make you violent. We have all heard it, but do they have a point? Well, video games are addictive. Well, is the reason we let ourselves be addicted to games because the virtual world is better than the real one? Can we really achieve the same accomplishments in the real world as we can do in the virtual one? What else? Oh yeah. Video games make you violent. Do they? Technically, playing violent video games can be beneficial for you as it requires strategy and cooperation. Think about Call of Duty. Yeah, you kill some bad guys, but you work as part of a team forming strategies to take down the enemy. How is that any different from playing a game of football? Another point that we will touch on later is the research looking into whether video games make you violent. But it's inconsistent, and there is evidence of bias. Do we really want to trust these results? Games allow us to face all sorts of challenges, and we learn all sorts of skills that benefit us in real life just as much as they do in the virtual world. When we play games, we tend to feel pretty good, right? That is because when we play games, we tap into our positive emotions such as curiosity, love, optimism, and creativity. These emotions can play with us up to 24 hours after playing a game, can impact our real life behaviour, such as give us more confidence to talk to that girl we like, or be more sociable. So in a way, games are impacting real life, but can the impact be increased? Games allow us to tap into the better version of ourselves, but can they make us stronger people? Well, some people believe just that. Games allow us the chance to lose and not do any damage to ourselves. Or we can win and reach an unrecognised potential. Why can't we do that in the real world? Why is it just in games that we have the strength to lose multiple times and still try to complete a task? Why is it just in games that we have the potential to reach the goals that we thought we could never achieve? Imagine, for one moment, a world where we could achieve recognised goals and have the strength to continue after failing multiple times. Is that our future? Well, yeah, kind of is. Games are now becoming part of our everyday life, and there has been multiple studies looking at just how games have a positive impact on real life. Yes, I said real life. Games are being used as a tool to help with multiple areas. So what areas, I hear you ask? Well, healthcare, emotions, education and social life, to name a few. These are the same things you used to be shouted at by your parents for. And it's actually helping society. Okay, so it's all good me just saying it has a positive impact on society, but you want proof, right? Right. Let's look at healthcare games. Healthcare games are being used for several different areas such as treating mental disorders, used in therapy, and even helping people to get fit. But how are these games being used? Well, the games have been designed with a combination of therapies to help tackle mental disorders. A game like this is Super Better. This game was designed by Jane McGonigal and helps people achieve personal challenges. Super Better has been shown to decrease 6 symptoms of depression after an average of 6-week play. Games have been used as a tool to tackle disorders such as anxiety, stress, and even post-traumatic stress disorder. Yes, I did say PTSD. Did you know that playing 10 minutes of Tetris after a traumatic event can reduce your likelihood of getting PTSD symptoms? Using games to treat PTSD is such a promising area that even the Pentagon has got on the bandwagon. Games are also used in education. This gives a whole new meaning to playground games. Online games are also used to help children tackle mental problems and scenarios. It has actually been used for a number of years now. But with the technology constantly improving, can it help our kids to learn better? So we see how games can make for a good change, but it can also do more harm than good. Can just how addictive games can be cause our children to escape the real world to no return? Hikikomori is the Japanese term for youths who withdraw from society and communicate with others purely through digital devices. Surely this cannot benefit the real world in any way. We can't really forget about the violent element to games, can we? Though there has been no concrete evidence that violent games make you more violent, we feel multiple emotions while gaming, so surely some of them must be negative. And if so, what effect does these negative emotions have on the people around us? So what is the future of games, and can it impact real life? We've looked at how games impact individuals in real life, and we've looked at how they can benefit society as a whole. Okay, so I have a question for you to think about. What if games and gamers could help solve real-world problems such as oil shortages, pollution, and even epidemics? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it's already happening. Yes, you heard me right. Games have been used to solve real-world problems, and here are 2 examples. First, have you ever heard of a game called Fold It? Well, it's basically a game that requires you to constantly evolve a protein strand into numerous different structures. What if I told you that the players of Fold It actually managed to develop antiretroviral drugs for HIV and AIDS? Sounds surreal, right? Here is another example. Who doesn't know the game World of Warcraft? Well, a few years ago, epidemiologists used the game for an experiment to see how people would react when there was an epidemic. What they hadn't counted on was people's curiosity. A lot of players in the game went to the site where the epidemic started and perished. This called for the CDC to change their protocols in order to take into account people's curiosity. So that proves the question, right? It shows just how games can impact real life. Question answered. Let's move on. Kind of. I think it's safe to say that we have looked at how games can impact real life in a positive light, while touching on the negatives, but there is one question that I have for you. Is reality becoming too much like a video game? Playing video games is such an important part of everyone's life, but where do we draw the line between the reality and virtual? Is it even possible? Well, that is a question for another day. That's all, folks.